Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another pristine episode of Funhaus. I'm your host, Adam Kovic, joined by James Willems and John Smith. How you guys doing?
I'm good. You can follow me at James Willems.
You don't have to.
I thought that was the point where
You can follow me at Radio Centro 939. That's my new sponsor.
Wait.
It's a personal sponsor, not sponsor of the show. My own personal.
Our actual sponsor of the show is Mack Weldon. You get 20% off using promo code FILM when you go to mackweldon.com. Pretty easy, 20% off. We'll be hearing more about them later and how much James and I love wearing their... I'm wearing it right now.
Got them on right now.
Yep. I'm on. That's how they work. Today we're talking about the film Tomb Raider. It's out this weekend.
You mean the game Tomb Raider?
No, we are talking about the movie that John and I saw.
Lara Croft, Cradle of Life?
Inspired by the game that was inspired by the movie.
Well, first there was a game.
Yeah.
A series of games.
Yeah.
And then they made a movie, a couple of them, starring Angelina Jolie. Great hits.
You know the first video game character that I ever saw naked was Lara Croft?
I do know that. Because I think that was the same for all of us, right?
Was it?
The nude mod?
I don't know.
what you're
I
talking
think
about?
someone had just made something or whatever, and I stumbled across it online.
And there's also that weird video game spread where they had like Blood Rain, and we're getting off topic.
But that was good. That was like photorealistic. This is like when she was a block person.
Yeah. You still made it work, though.
Yeah.
It's like a
I
naked
remember
Lego.
there was on Napster, or no, not Napster, on LimeWire. There, if you search Lara Croft, one of the top videos was like a 1-minute video of a lady dressed as Lara Croft stripping. So I
watched
saw
that one,
that when I was
too.
like 11.
Is it hot in here?
I totally
Was
saw
she on
that.
a bus?
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh my God. I also had iMesh. Dear God. So we're sad. And I guess something worth noting, because we're not talking about the new film, which is mostly it's mostly based on the 2013 re-release or the reboot of Tomb Raider, the game, which was critical acclaim out the Yahoo.
I loved it.
Big reason why James is here, actually. He's a big fan of the game. Loves it more than Uncharted for some reason.
I think it's a better version of the Uncharted games.
So,
But it came afterwards, so I think they were able to observe and then...
like James, I'm also a fan. And now that I've seen the movie, I kind of wanted James here to have his sort of unfiltered opinion or questions about this movie coming out. But it is worth noting that the original Angelina Jolie Tomb Raider film reunited Angelina Jolie with her father, Jon Voight.
That's true.
It didn't do a very good job of it, though, because they just filmed together and then they went back to hating each other.
That's true.
So it just put them in the same room together because they both like money more than they hate each other.
It was a good story, though.
Beautiful story.
It's a beautiful, beautiful story.
tale as old as time.
Speaking of stories, so the plot of the new Lara Croft Tomb Raider, I'll hit the bullet points real quick, but this is following the disappearance of her father, Richard. Lara Croft lives a reckless and carefree life. When she's arrested after an accident involving a police car, Richard's business partner, Anna Miller, posts her bail and warns that if she does not claim her inheritance, her father's estate will be sold off.
You remember Anna Miller from the game?
I don't.
Now, you guys remember the boardroom level? No?
It's
in it.
there is a lot of I didn't watch it all, but
Wait, you didn't watch all the movie?
I'm doing this bad thing where I speak in different terms. I speak the same way a Tarantino film is edited, where I say part of the story first when I should say, much like Iron Fist on Netflix, I didn't really watch it.
Oh, okay.
But this Lara Croft movie sort of reminded me of that, it's like, hey, I own this business and I'm back. And they're like, who are you? And he's like, I want nothing to do with the business. Or like I said, I didn't see Iron Fist.
This is what Bruce Wayne does. Remember when Bruce Wayne was gone for a long time and he comes back?
Right.
He's like, I bought all the shares.
Sounds like you guys are tapping into some sort of trope or something.
I guess, yeah. I mean, not a rope. Trope.
Yeah.
Trope. Okay.
To rope.
To that point, this movie is made entirely of tropes.
Okay.
It is built on the foundation of trope, which in the end doesn't make it very bad.
Well, that's fair. The game is built on action movie tropes as well.
Sure.
Like the original game and then the follow-up to the game. I mean, if we want to follow the trajectory, obviously it goes Tomb Raider. Tomb Raider paved the way for a game like Uncharted, kind of, which is basically an Indiana Jones trope-filled game. And then they were like, oh, we should just try and make that because that's really popular. So then they made Tomb Raider, which was a trope-filled reinvention of what Uncharted was. So it's just passing the tropes down the line.
Yeah,
so it makes
and
sense.
I told this to John right after the movie. My sort of issue with it is we are just literally going in a circle where we have video games that are inspired by movies, and now we're making the movies that are about inspired by games that are inspired by movies. It's just becoming so diluted that you know what's going to happen before everything. And I don't know if that's really the movie's fault. It's just that's where we're at.
Well, when you said that to me, I got really excited because I thought that the next chapter in this circular franchise you're talking about was when I saw the movie and I got inspired to become Lara Croft myself.
I guess I forgot about this. I guess preface the story a little bit. We're still not media people yet.
Never.
We
Don't say
don't-
yet. Yet implies you will be.
Well, I think it just takes a couple of emails, but we're not really getting invited to like press screenings. No one cares about us. I know. Filmhouse.
Oh, I almost fainted.
Did you see our Gringo review? Trick question. No one did. So John has been getting us to these screenings. Bless his heart. And he was all I got was the email that said, "Hey, good news! I got the Lara Croft screening." And just more emails kept in. There's like, "There's also a costume contest." Like, what kind of press screening is this? Like, oh, it's not a press screening.
No.
I
it's
thought
just
it was the
they screen-
premiere, like the world premiere. I thought I was going to meet Alicia Vikander
Yeah.
dressed as her from the movie. But yeah, the hashtag they used was Lara Croft LA. And it was like, use this hashtag to be entered into the contest. If you don't use this, you won't be entered into the contest. I was like, guess I got to post some pictures on social media. But then I searched the hashtag and literally no one had used it, not even the radio station putting on the contest. So I took some pictures. I was the only person using the hashtag. I should have won an iPad mini. I did not.
No.
That's lame.
Yeah.
No, I think it was fine considering all the positive looks John got wearing his Celine Dion wig.
HIV positive looks.
Some of that.
You guys were in Hollywood, right?
Yeah, I mean, your costume was mostly items from Target. He wasn't allowed to bring in his bow and arrow that just had
Yeah.
suction cups at the end.
They
This
made
is
me
something
leave
that
it
happened
outside.
in the line outside the theater.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
I was getting a lot of waves from cars.
Uh-huh.
And one guy took a picture of me and
Called you a really terrible word and then kept
Yeah.
driving.
A lot of people were telling John, "Hey, you go, girl."
Uh-huh.
Man. But the costume contest was John, who was the only person who dressed up as Lara Croft, a woman wearing like a skin tight black jumpsuit.
What?
She was just wearing like workout clothes or something.
Yeah.
She wasn't really.
I don't think anyone else was dressed up. So when it came out down to it, there was 4 people in the costume competition. Me in my full regalia.
Yeah.
A grown woman with a ponytail and 2 children with ponytails. And that was it.
The best part, this is for audio listeners, if you want to see the video, it should be playing right now on the Funhaus channel. So I took
Good.
plenty of footage.
Good.
It was great. It was all hosted by some Spanish radio station out
But
here in
you
LA.
won.
Yeah, I won. It was a raffle, so I had a 25% chance of winning, and they seemed very disappointed that I won because I think they were going to use it as like promotional stuff.
I feel bad because behind all these events is a team of PR people who are trying to drum up hype. So thank God you showed up trying.
Yeah.
Because otherwise it would have been just a complete failure on all fronts.
He was the most enthusiastic person there. We'll get back to the movie. Actually, I do want to say
We
one.
never got to it.
We kind of started. I don't
it
know.
outside.
One thing I do want to say, because this was like an early screening, the best part about it was they came out and said, "Turn off your phone. Don't put it on silent. Turn it off." If we have night vision cameras,
Yeah,
which I don't think we saw. I think they're
you're not supposed to.
I think they're just lying.
Yeah, well-
but they're like, we will be sweeping the auditorium. If we even see a phone out, we're kicking you out. And I was like, this is how it should be everywhere.
Yeah.
I didn't see anyone pull their phone out once, except for the guy sitting next to us who put on a sweater halfway through and dropped all his change on the floor. That's
It rolled like down the rows.
a separate story.
Can I real quick, and this will be a really quick story about just the movie going experience.
Sure,
Because while
yes.
you guys are waiting in line to go see Tomb Raider, Elise and I went and saw Death of Stalin. New Armando Iannucci movie.
Yeah.
And it was great. But it was at a upper class theater because this is an artsy fartsy film that's not going to get wide release. So we had to go to this upper, and they're very good about at the beginning you have an assigned seat and turn off your cell phones. We even had the Bryan Cranston in Isle of Dogs told us to turn off our cell phones too. It's the same way. It's not as aggressive. They're not threatening to throw you out.
Did you say Bryan Cranston was sitting in your row?
No, Bryan Cranston is one of the voices of the dogs in Wes Anderson's Isle of Dogs.
Gotcha,
And so the
okay.
guy came out and said, "Turn off your cell phones, and then it showed a big video of Bryan Cranston as the dog telling us to turn off our cell phones too.
Gotcha.
So
Classic.
they were very adamant about turning off your cell phones, and we were like, nice, this is nice theater. This means a good experience. And then some guy got wheeled in on a wheelchair, a really old guy, just like they set him up in the space in the wheelchair section, and then he was sitting there.
Oh man.
And then coughed like he was going to die for the whole movie.
Yikes.
He didn't take out his cell phone though.
Maybe that was Stalin.
That may have been Stalin.
Secretly going to see
Where
his
is he
movie.
these days? He retired years ago.
Stalin?
Yeah.
I can tell you.
Nobody knows.
Oh,
I can tell you because I saw the movie. Anyway, that's it.
Okay, yeah. So the movie continues. We'll hit the big points. I don't want to spoil the movie too much because I don't know. There's enough there.
If you've played through the game, has the movie been spoiled? I'm saying
Yeah,
in terms
to
of
a degree,
plot,
yeah.
you know the narrative.
I'll say if you've ever played one of the two new Tomb Raider games, or you've played in the Uncharted games, you kind of know what you're in for. I will say this: the movie is, as far as video game movie adaptations go, it's very true to the game, which I did appreciate. I did feel like I was watching a video game adaptation of a movie, which I guess it is, and sometimes it just felt like an okay movie. So, I like on a scale of it being a good adaptation, it's up there next to what's the best one? Silent Hill, maybe.
Well, yeah.
I mean, people will say Mortal Kombat, but
Resident Evil 9.
First Resident Evil was
I
an
like the
okay
first Resident
adaptation.
Evil. It was okay. I mean, but that's so far from a Resident Evil
Yeah.
movie.
Yeah.
Like, it's so
That's
different.
what an adaptation could be.
That's I think the reason why I like the Resident Evil movie, because it's so different, and they're like,
Take the concepts
Yeah.
and some of the characters and then put them into a situation that it makes sense for cinema.
I think the first one had none of the characters other than the guy who went on to become Nemesis.
Yeah.
And I think that's why it worked. Probably because it was a script for another movie. Either way, this one is a very, not literal, but it's very much based on that 2013 game. So things like the mysticism of, there's voodoo or magic, or maybe it's real, or it's like it's some old science that's involved. You're constantly questioning like those sorts of things. I thought they did a good job of that. That's not necessarily new or good.
Yeah.
But it captures that from the game. So.
Well, my concern with stuff like this, I'm always down for more, right? Like,
You say that all the time.
I say that all the time. I'm always down for more.
DTF.
When they released the second season of Wet Hot American Summer on Netflix, and I was like, this wasn't as good as the movie or the first season, I immediately went, but I'm glad it exists, and I'm glad I have it to choose from. This seems like a situation like that, where it's like, I'm glad it exists.
Sure.
But we are in a weird situation where they're adapting video games faithfully now, and it's causing a new problem to arise.
That nothing new happens and that it's just a
already know it's happening.
regurgitation.
And now it's just something you don't get to play.
Yeah.
Right? Like you just which is a good option, but when you think about how much this movie may have cost and how much marketing is behind it and how it's supposed to be this thing, and I'm sure they're trying to build a franchise or whatever.
They absolutely are.
So like when you think about that, you're like, but this is just, we could have just given me the game, but then had like a separate team of 5 working on cinema mode, We
Yeah.
played it in Space Ace. You can play Space Ace, or you can press one button and Space Ace will play itself.
Yeah, it definitely hits the beats of the game, but that game, the 2013 Tomb Raider, it's like a 20-hour game, something like that. There's a lot of levels. There's a lot of cool level design. There's some interesting stuff going on. There's a lot of characters. They trim the fat way down. This is for all intents and purposes, this is a adaptation.
Is it like 90 minutes?
Yeah. It was about that. So it from the story of where like Lara escapes and she falls and gets hurt. They kind of go through those beats, but they speed it up. But they have to. I get it. It's a film. It's the same reason why I won't get mad at Jurassic Park, a movie being so different from the book. They're different entertainment mediums.
Absolutely.
You have to do it. So I actually applaud them for finding a creative way of getting around this stuff and having characters that you can at least somewhat relate to, though they are fairly one-dimensional.
How does this movie stack up against Assassin's Creed?
Way better.
Okay.
Way better.
My concern when I watched Assassin's Creed, the whole time I was watching this, I'm like, you've enhanced the boring parts of the game, and I can't play the fun parts. Like the fun parts of the game are now not action set pieces so much as they are just these boring things I have to sit through.
I would say it's flipped.
Okay.
Did you see Assassin's Creed, John?
I did not.
Oh, you're missing
You
out.
don't need to.
I refuse to watch Michael
It's
Fassbender
2 hours
movies.
and 45 minutes long. Think about that.
Are you
An Assassin's
serious?
Creed movie is 2 hours and 45
Oh my
minutes long.
god.
So Tomb Raider, more time is spent
married
in-
to Michael Fassbender, Alicia Vikander.
Is she?
Wow, video game couples.
How much would you pay to watch that?
I just want to see their beautiful child.
How
children.
much would you pay? I was thinking about spending $150 on Survivor
I've already
Series
seen Michael
tickets.
Fassbender's dick like a dozen
But
times.
you've
Right, but
never
now you can
seen
see
it
inside a beautiful woman.
inside a beautiful woman.
inside Alicia Vikander.
Yeah. Also her.
who is also an Academy Award winner, I've been told, by marketing materials. What movie was she from?
The Danish girl
Oh, I
with
never saw
Eddie
it.
Redmayne.
Gotcha.
The first transition.
It's worth noting that she's the second Academy Award winning actress to portray a video game character. The other one being Sir Ben Kingsley in that one movie, in the Name of the
played
King.
the Prince of Persia.
He was in
yeah.
the Prince of Persia. Christ,
Yeah.
never mind. He's done it twice now.
Wait, was he in Prince? He was in Prince. I
probably
never saw
was-
Prince of
I never
Was
saw
he?
Prince of
That was just an
I don't know if he
educated
was.
guess,
Prince of
knowing
Persia
Ben Kingsley's
existed.
I forgot we have a
history.
Prince of Persia movie and Assassin's Creed movie. Like
Yeah.
that's
all of them came after the games made game versions, like movie version games, right?
moving on. It's one note I did make here. This is kind of an interesting time for a Lara Croft movie to come out because she is I would say she's I don't want to say a positive role model, but she's a strong female character, which is
bad ass bitch, and that is why I loved this movie.
go on.
I agree that critically, from film theory perspective, it's all right. It's a movie, but I really enjoyed seeing Alicia Vikander kick ass.
Going back to what you were saying earlier, James, where the character Lara Croft was made before because they just wanted female Indiana Jones, right? That
Yeah,
was
yeah.
always the sort of thing. And then it was just heavily sexualized. And then as the iteration came, they were like, no, she's a strong character. I was like, I appreciate the evolution that she had. And now that we live in a post-Wonder Woman age where, women can carry a movie now in an action movie, and it's probably going to do well commercially and critically. That's with fans and critics alike. I think it was actually kind of, I was trying to put my mind, as I often do, into that of a 7-year-old girl watching the movie, thinking like, oh, this is kind of cool. But then quickly she murders a guy and like chokes him out and like drowns him in some mud.
Yeah.
And I was like,
Well,
ooh, that was like it
The
gets,
thing
gets a little
is that
raunchy.
we had like a 3 or 4 year old girl sitting directly behind us, and she was vocalizing her opinions of everything. And she was really scared when the fight happened, and then she went dead silent when she choked the guy out and drowned him in the mud.
They hit those notes much like the game did, and they also just completely abandoned them, much like the game did. I don't know if you remember in the first game, she gets into that when she kills a guy, she's like, oh my god, oh my god,
yeah,
oh my
yeah.
god, what did I do?
Yeah.
What did I do? And then she sees in the movie, she sees like a wizard walk
Yeah.
in the background. She goes, what's that? And then just goes and chases
And start shooting at it with two guns.
It's so they at least try to hit those things because they do show her like basically kill a guy in self-defense, and it's a pretty brutal fight.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh wow, this is that. I was literally having that moment like, wow, it's kind of like Wonder Woman for girls. Oh fuck, she's just full on murdered a man.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that was one of the things that I really liked about the movie that I felt made it stand out and stand above Wonder Woman, which is that all of the non-action scenes in Wonder Woman I loved. All of the action scenes were overly cut and choreographed not in tandem with the DP. And that's something that happens in a lot of action movies that don't focus that are
Made in a computer.
I don't know, because I grew up on Jackie Chan films, and they did a lot of wide shots of long choreographed fights where you see every hit and you see the reaction to every hit. And that's something that I've read in editing 101 is you want to see the reaction of the action in the same shot. And that's something that I feel a lot of Marvel movies and just superhero movies in general don't do because it requires more time to shoot rather than just getting a shot of a guy punching and then getting a shot of a guy falling backwards and stuff. And so that was with this Tomb Raider. It's like the first scene we see with Lara is she's getting the shit kicked out of her in a kickboxing spar. And you see it really looks like she's getting the shit kicked out of her and she's fighting this girl and she's kicking the shit out of her. They didn't overcut it. And you got to see the action and ingest the action, and I really liked that about it. It was very gritty and felt very real, unlike a lot of action movies. where they just cut around that stuff.
I guess you do see her getting her ass kicked a lot in the movie,
Yeah.
which is
But then overcoming it.
right, as opposed to her starting out being a badass. Like she gets hit by a car, she gets thrown off a waterfall.
Before she even makes it to the island, she
Yeah.
gets hit by a car.
Yeah.
Sounds like she's clumsy.
A little bit. I mean, like she's kind of constantly getting the shit kicked out of her, which the game almost did to a like comical effect.
Yeah.
I think people were sort of expecting it, but like you see a lot of it in the trailer where she's got the parachute and then she hits a tree and then a bear smacks her. It's just like that doesn't really happen, but it's this compounding of this poor person just having everything thrown at her, and it's like I think it actually makes it for a more interesting character, I guess, instead of someone who's like Wonder Woman. Everything just seems so easy for her, as it should be though. She's a god-ish, but
Goddess.
Her struggle is internal.
Yes.
Whereas Lara Croft's struggle is external.
right. But with that said, I do want to remind you that this episode of Filmhouse is brought to you by Mack Weldon. I do know that Mack Weldon's better than anything you're wearing right now.
Yes, that's true.
Yeah.
Very comfortable, great for working out, great for lounging.
Yep.
They have all kinds of shirts, shorts, sweatpants. Like people don't realize they think of it as an underwear company, but it sells everything you need.
It's a life company.
It is kind of a life company.
John keeps asking me for them, and I'll get you some.
I keep trying to take yours off of your body.
I know. I wish you would stop. I will say this, true to life, they are the most comfortable underwear that I own.
Yeah.
It's the only stuff I wear. James, I think you're in agreement.
Well, the thing is, if John were to say you let John borrow your underwear,
okay.
and it's part of the Mack Weldon Silver line of underwear,
The antimicrobial
exactly,
line.
he could wear it for a week, do anything he wanted in them, go to a tropical island, solve puzzles and get beat up, hand them back to you, they won't stink.
Interesting.
They won't
I
stink.
think we put this up to the test.
Send me to the Hawaii.
We're gonna beat the hell out of John while he's wearing Mack Weldon's.
We cannot recommend Mack Weldon enough. They have always been a fantastic sponsor to us and just a sponsor of my life in a way because it keeps my underside protected and looking good. So I think that's good for my brand. It's good for your brand. Make it part of your brand today. So get 20% off by using promo code FILM. That's when you go to MackWeldon.com. You get 20% off. That's easy. All you have to use the promo code FILM. Just let them know that we sent you. Well, and let them know we say hi. Back to the movie, Tomb Raider. Actually, it's just called Lara Croft. Wait, no, it's just called Tomb Raider. Tomb Raider is known for, I would say, two things. Action/adventure and puzzles.
Okay.
Yes.
The movie, almost to a fault, I don't want to say shoehorns in, but has plenty of puzzles interwoven through
Like
the story.
tomb puzzles?
Yeah,
That's cool.
There's two moments. One where they're like, we can't get into this cave, and Lara's like, I got it, and she solves the puzzle, and it feels like a video game puzzle. One of those ones where it's not impossible, but it's fairly complicated. And there's another one where the floor is literally falling beneath them, and she has to solve a puzzle while like danger's happening and. Like it's like a group thing where they're like, try this one, try this, and she's like mixing and matching different things to try to get through a door, and is like, okay, this feels like it's
cool.
the Silent Hill film did something similar to this, where the character looked at a map and she was trying to memorize it. I was like, oh, kind of like a video game.
Yeah.
Okay, and so this one I was like, that was a good adaptation of a video game moment.
Yeah.
I thought was well done. A bad version of that would be Doom when they went into first person for 10 minutes.
Yeah.
This is a good version of that. So I do applaud the film for
cool.
at least keeping those things in line.
Yeah. That's cool.
Yeah. It was all right.
Oh, you didn't like
crazy about
that?
the puzzles?
No, it was fine. I liked the first puzzle more because it was like the big door to get into the tomb, and all of the different things she had to turn were way up high, and so it was her like moving a ladder and then climbing the ladder and turning things and then climbing back down, moving the ladder again and climbing up. It was.
I mean, the movie comes to a screeching halt.
Yeah.
Really? Like at the puzzles, or
well, only because moments before that, people are shooting at each other. It's a big action moment, and then she's like, "I'll solve this puzzle," and everyone just stands there looking at her.
no one holds the ladder?
No, I think
So
she just
there's
does the
still
whole
an
thing.
element of danger.
Yeah. It was at one point it wobbled and she looked down.
Yeah. My final thoughts on this movie, walking away from it, is it reminded me a lot of Rogue One. I without spoiling it, there's a lot of similar themes. Rogue One is a little tropey. It was part of an expanded universe or something that already exists. And I kind of felt like I knew everything was going to happen before it happened. Tomb Raider was a lot like that for me. So like Rogue One, I didn't hate it. But at the same time, I didn't feel like I got anything new out of it. I didn't feel better for watching it.
Did you feel, what's it, Alicia Vikander?
Alicia Vikander.
Alicia Vikander. Do you feel like she was charismatic in the role of Lara Croft? Because I feel like that's the kind of thing where you could just plop, like almost the trailer kind of makes it seem like they just like plopped someone in, you know?
Well, once her like origin or like where is she now? Like before she goes to the island, I think she was, because that was pretty much the only time they had to do that. And when she was on the island, it was just like, you're not gonna kill me, and like getting hit by bears and stuff.
No bears.
But yeah, before it was like her at her sparring class, and then her at her job. And I thought, yeah, I mean, they didn't spend much time on it at all.
She's
but,
charismatic
like,
enough to
yeah.
carry the movie.
I'm just saying
I think.
she's coming in after Angelina Jolie played the role in two
That's true.
movies.
Right.
Where and like Angelina Jolie became almost synonymous
Yeah.
with that character. Not necessarily because her performance was amazing, but because she's a charismatic human being.
She's like a
who
living
then
cartoon.
transcended,
and
like
because she's sultry, like the first Tomb Raider.
I guess so.
Yeah, the
I don't-
second Tomb Raider is more about being an empowered lady.
We're talking about Cradle of Life.
Yeah.
I never saw it. I don't know.
No, I meant the new Tomb Raider.
Yeah.
I guess my only issue with the character is actually the journey in which she ends up on, because she goes through this whole thing. I think I started out liking the character of Lara Croft more. By the time they got to the end, which they already shown in the trailer, so when she pulls out the two guns, she's like, I'll take two, which is, I guess, a nod to the future games of what we're trying to get away from. Where she's like, now I have two guns, I'm gonna do backflips and shoot dogs. It's like, no, like don't do that. That's kind of when she starts to suck.
Innovation.
Do you know why he sang that?
Because it's U2.
And why is he singing
It
U2?
was the Cradle of Life theme song.
Thank you, John. You win today's
Is that true?
Cradle of Life
Was it
question
Cradle
of
of
life.
Educated guess. That's
Was it?
why I'm
Was
so
it
good at
first one.
trivia.
Was it the first one?
All I remember is that the music video had her fighting that giant robot.
Oh, yeah. that's
Robot
the
was
first
in the
one.
first one.
Yeah.
I told you. We argued about this in the car on the way back. As John was still wearing a wig with eyeliner on.
Yeah.
On a character level, I thought all the characters were fine, except Walton Goggins. I mean, no, okay, wait. let me
The
rephrase that.
bad guy.
The bad guy, the antagonist,
Originally
the
from
leader
Justified.
of Trinity. Walton Goggins is great, and I know I've seen him play so many amazing, unique roles as a good guy and as a bad guy. And he was just kind of just a dude in this one, and like he did say one line where he's like, "I haven't had anybody to talk to, so I'm crazy."
Right,
But
so
then
he's
apart from
literally on
that-
an island full of hundreds of people
Yeah.
that they're like forcing to work. It's like, you could talk to any one of them if you just
Yeah.
get outside your shell.
Yeah, but like I just felt like they kind of played it safe and just had him be a bad guy rather than having him be like a unique, like rememberable villain.
Yeah.
They tried a little bit with him because they start out with him saying, I'm just doing a job. If once I finish my job, I can leave.
Yeah.
And because Lara Croft shows up with her dad's notes, he now goes, oh, I can now move forward with my thing. Thank you. And she's like, crap, that's not what I wanted, because in her dad's notes, he's like, please burn all evidence of any of this happening. But she thinks maybe my dad might be alive and he might be on this island. And then all she finds is this bad guy. All this stuff saying like, no, I came here with your dad and your dad's dead. And I've been digging for 7 years. Thank you. I can finally go home. But now it's like her dad left all these notes saying, if he opens this tomb, this plague is gonna or some evil is gonna come out and kill everyone. So it's like, that's where the myth versus the reality thing sort of sets in of like, who do you believe? I think it's enough to keep the story in the movie going, but like I said, tropey as fuck. It's been done a million times,
Well-
and you kind of know where it's gonna go.
Is there any reason someone would pick a movie like this over something like Jumanji: Welcome to the Jungle?
Never saw it.
I saw it, and I also tried to watch it going, this is just a fun popcorn movie. And it was that, but it was also very, so over the top.
Well, that's what I'm
this
saying.
is more
though.
grounded.
That's what I'm saying, though. When you have a movie that's littered with tropes,
Yeah.
based on a video game, does it make more sense to go for a gritty, realistic take, or something like Jumanji, which is not based on a video game, but in the world of the movie it is, and actually does a pretty good job of hammering in like video game mechanics into it, but it's like hyper saturated, and it's basically a big cartoon.
I mean, that's kind of how I look at Scott Pilgrim. It's like it's basically a video game movie, but it's not based on any video game. But it's very much it's a weird movie to call a video game movie, but that's what I've always seen it as, a video game movie.
Yeah,
something like that. Whereas Lara Croft, there's all these meetings of people saying, "Well, hold on, let's look at the Bible. Let's consult it real quick. Not the literal Bible, but the Tomb Raider Bible of, well, she wouldn't do this because of that." And they're just like, Jesus Christ.
Well, actually, Tomb Raider is inspired by the
Bible
so.
or vice versa.
Imagine that more isn't always better, like I always say. If you had to choose a wacky Tomb Raider that's more in line with Jumanji, or a hard, like, beaten down, gritty Tomb Raider like the one you saw, what would you go for?
Here's what I want. I want a gritty Jumanji where people are getting fucked up by rhinos.
That's the first one.
No one got fucked up by a rhino.
They wrecked David Allen Greer's car.
No, the plants ate David Allen Greer's car.
It's just trampled by animals.
The monkey had a tail, and he tried to talk to it to Robin Williams, and Robin Williams thought he was talking about his penis.
Remember when the kid put on all the makeup and he looks freaky because he's like turning into a monkey for some reason? God, that movie's frightening. It's nightmare fuel. Probably Jumanji.
You'd rather go for a
movie I haven't
cartoonish-
seen?
Well, yeah, but yeah.
From what I've heard, is Jumanji's good.
I thought it was good.
I disagree. I very much enjoyed the gritty, realistic Tomb Raider over Jumanji, which I enjoyed Jumanji. Wasn't crazy about it. Wasn't crazy about this movie either. But I like the gritty approach more than the wacky approach.
I guess another similar movie to this would be like Warcraft that came out recently, where it's a movie that was okay. And it adapted something that is beloved by a lot of people. Tomb Raider probably not as much as Warcraft. People probably remember Tomb Raider more as a movie these days than a video game. Or maybe half and half these days. Who knows?
Yeah.
But I think it did a better job than Warcraft, honestly. I think it felt a little more true to it. But once again, it is a video game that's meant to feel like a movie.
Yeah.
So Warcraft, when you're playing an MMO or even the RTS, not meant to feel like a movie. That's a much harder adaptation.
Yeah.
There's a lot of lore you can work with, but man, it's a hard.
It's mostly
barrier to
written
entry.
out in a wiki somewhere.
Yes,
Yeah.
it's in books and lore and all these amazing things. But Tomb Raider, I think it's an easier adaptation. So it's safe. I think if you're a fan of the games, I think you'll find some enjoyment in it. I'll throw that out there.
If you just finished the new Tomb Raider, first new Tomb Raider, what do you call it?
That's just Tomb Raider 2013.
Yeah, Tomb Raider 2013. If you literally just finished it, don't go see the movie yet. Maybe wait a year.
What if you haven't started it yet?
That's a tough one.
Well,
What if you haven't started it yet? You don't own any video games, but there's also no movie theaters within 100 miles of where you live. What do you do?
What do you do?
I don't understand the
Are
question.
you supporting torrenting?
No.
No, you listen to this podcast where we didn't spoil much of the movie for you.
Well,
That's
okay.
right.
Here, I was thinking this movie might do well because, the standard. This isn't true about everybody, but there's a good number of people, from what I heard in the theater, that dudes play video games. Some girls don't, but dudes date girls, and they bring their girl to this movie. He likes it because it's a video game movie. She likes it because it's a badass female protagonist.
When does this come out?
This week.
It just came out yesterday.
It comes
out- well-
no. We saw an advanced screening, James.
I know, but this podcast releases to the public on a Saturday.
Yeah,
on Saturday. Yeah.
So it came out
This
yesterday.
weekend.
oh,
Yeah.
sorry.
So I'll just let you know right now, this movie's going to crash and burn.
You think?
It's going up against Ready Player One and still Black
no,
Panther.
Ready
Ready
Player
Player
One's-
One's next week.
Yeah,
Ready
yeah.
Player One's the 29th.
you sure?
Yeah, it's 29th.
Oh, okay.
No, we
That's
looked
why
it up.
no one responded to your invite about have a Ready Player One party. Everybody dress up as Ready Player One and go see Ready Player One.
Bring your
this weekend.
DeLoreans, folks. We're doing a Ready Player One party before anyone else can.
The movies coming out this weekend, according to John, are 7 days into BB.
I still think it's probably going to lose to
Oh,
Black Panther.
Love Simon.
How do you
and-
not know? what that. You got to read my subtitles.
Oh, it's a film about the most
coming out
famous
this
hijacking
weekend.
that you never
These
heard
are the
of.
movies that's coming out. Tomb Raider, 7 Days in Entebbe,
Tebe.
the most famous plane hijacking that you've never heard of.
Okay,
That was
followed
my-
by Love, Simon.
Followed by Love, Simon, which is a retelling of You Got Mail without the corporate propaganda.
Finally, there's I Can Only Imagine.
I Can Only Imagine. This is the first of many Dennis Quaid films. Oh, wait. Can you read what I wrote?
These are the first of many Christian films starring Dennis Quaid.
Yes. Dennis Quaid has transitioned over to Christian cinema.
Well, you got to go where
He
the
will
money
never
is.
come back.
It's kind of like when singers or pop singers go to country. It's like, it's safe. This is how you retire.
Is this movie going to beat Black Panther this weekend?
No, God, no. No.
Is it going to be top? Is it going to be 2 or 3? Wrinkle in
It's
Time.
gonna be number
I think
one.
it's going to be number one.
You think it's going to be
might-
number 1
It
over
might
Black
lose
Panther?
the Black Panther.
Well,
its eighth
oh
week or
yeah,
whatever.
Black Panther might still win.
Yeah,
Maybe.
so that's what I'm saying.
I think it's going to bring in like a solid 30 million, maybe
How much
40.
did it cost? Do you know?
More than that. So much more.
400 billion.
That's one of those things that seems weird. I'm like, I think these are really good avenues to explore because again, some people don't have the time to play 20 hours a game, but they kind of want that aspect of it.
Sure.
But when you find out that they cost, I'm not saying this one did, but when you find out it cost $150 million, you're like, what were they thinking?
It cost 94 million, and it's already made at the time of this recording on Wednesday. It has made $14 million foreign overseas, and every other country except for America hates women.
That's not
That's a
true.
fact.
That's not true.
That's what Box
That's
Office
not
Mojo says right here.
That's not true.
It says it right there.
it's
Look at
it's
that.
Box Office Mojo's subtitle.
That's just them. Apparently, the music was done by Junkie XL. I didn't catch that.
We did Wonder Woman.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Well, they're typecasting him. I'm not personally invested whether this movie does well or not. I guess
You're
every
not a German bank.
Well, no, every 3 years, I think we need to be reminded that maybe video games shouldn't be adapted into movies. This might be the one that proves everyone wrong. And go, no, there is money here. It's going to be the next Marvel franchise. You know, it's going to be the next 20 years of superheroes. It's going to be adapting video games to make them into I don't think it can be done. I don't
Please
think it's.
God, no.
I don't know. I think there's too many cooks in the kitchen, and it just doesn't make for good media. Typically, this one exception, not the rule. Put that out there.
Yeah, I think part of it stems from the fact that video games have been following movies for a while now. At some point in video games, like a fairly large sect of them were like, we should just do what movies do, but as a video game.
Agreed.
So I think it's a weird thing where now it's cycling back.
Right. We're watching people who are making media that were inspired by the films of their childhood and their young adulthood, and they were like, I'm going to put that into my work, which is a video game, and they were kind of doing it in their own little corner, and no one really noticed. So when you're putting spaceships in the Halo video game that look like they're straight out of Alien
Yeah.
or Aliens, no one's really going to notice from Hollywood. They're like, oh, whatever, it's doing its own thing. But then when you want to adapt it into a film, James Cameron's go, what the fuck are you? You're just stealing my stuff.
Yeah.
It's just I don't know. It's a weird system.
Yeah.
Oh.
Well,
Do
I guess you make Fantasyland similar to Ready Player One in theaters now.
It's not.
in theaters this weekend.
Were you going to go to the movie theaters dressed up?
I'm waiting there right now.
Okay.
On Saturday when this
Okay.
comes out, I'm at a theater waiting.
Which one? Can people come join you?
Yeah, come join me at the Oklahoma City Regency 8. I'll be there, and anyone that shows up gets free popcorn on me.
Nice.
See you
Nice.
there.
So it's
Very
like how
nice.
people set up tents for like Star Wars weeks ahead. You're the only guy in the world who thought, I'm going to wait in line for Ready Player One.
Except I buy a ticket to, what is it, the plane crash?
7 days in Entebbe.
7 days in Entebbe.
You guys aren't familiar with Entebbe airport hostage situation?
Well,
in the
according
80s?
to the title or the subtitle, we shouldn't be familiar.
Yeah, it's because I was appealing to the millennials who don't know shit about history.
Yeah,
or
I guess-
planes.
yeah.
I love you guys.
I guess I'm one of them. Anyway, thank you once again, everyone, for listening, watching. Maybe someone was dictating this to you in a post-apocalyptic world. This could be Homer's new Odyssey. Who knows? Hello, year 50,000. Good to hear you or see ya. This is a voice from the past. This is what we used to sound like.
Why would they dictate it to you?
Because one
You could just
person
listen
can
to the recording.
because they have one Zune in the future that has all of mankind's recordings. One person goes in the cave, listens to it, memorizes it, then he goes and tells it to the masses.
Why didn't he just let them listen? The masses listen to the recording.
Because the Zune only uses headphones.
I don't know.
That's its flaw. There's no speaker on it.
So, but he has to listen to it.
Right, because he's the only one with the headphones. He's the great. We're writing.
It seems like a
movie
waste
right
of his time.
now. There's not a lot to do because the man wolves.
Ready
eat the
Player
young.
One in theaters. Stefan Spielberg. He made this one.
Yeah.
And there's a Back to the Future in it.
And I would personally like to thank Radio Centro 939.
this.
If you guys could tweet to Radio Centro 939, tell them
You gotta
I'm
stop this.
ready to accept their offer to be their radio mascot, to show up to every advanced screening dressed as the female protagonist of that film.
Legally, Rooster Teeth will not allow that.
Damn it.
This is a disappointment to all. Thank you for listening and watching. Tell a friend. Bye, guys. The movie never really feels too heavy. It doesn't feel like a 2 Days in the Valley, which also stars Charlize Theron, or like Shortcuts, or like Pulp Fiction, or something like that, where you have all these multiple storylines, and you as a viewer go, "What the hell's going on?" At the end, you go, "Oh." What they actually succeed in doing is having these multiple storylines going on, keeping it connected, and then still having you go,